Welcome back to Best of the Bets. I'm Christina Nicolaides and we're looking forward to next season. Regular guests once again, Sam and Gareth. How are you both?
Very well.
Yeah. We are looking forward to next season.
Yeah.
Me too. Starting with Premier League winner. Is it too early to say?
We've got the top three all with a new manager for next season.
Yep.
The outright betting at the moment with Heaven Bet, we've got Manchester United 2.7, Manchester City at 3, Chelsea at 3.3. And then Arsenal 12, Tottenham 25, Liverpool 29, and then, well, that's pretty much it. Everton 250 if you fancy a wild stab.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it looks to be between the top three. I don't know if anyone can break into that stranglehold.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of talk about Liverpool, isn't there? Possibly improving on this season, but I don't think even with some sort of quite astute signings this summer, I don't think they'd really have enough to challenge. I certainly do see it as a three-horse race, and I think it'll be a lot closer than it was this season. I think Sir Alex Ferguson went out in fine style in winning the title because I think we're both in agreement there that they really overachieved this season.
It's incredible. I mean, don't think.
What do you mean overachieved?
Well, you look
got
at
Robin van Persie scoring goals.
Yeah.
I mean,
but
squads.
Look at the teams. Look at the squad. United aren't 13 points better than either City or Chelsea. Both City and Chelsea had problems at various stages in the season. But
that's the whole point of the Premier League, though, that clubs have to be consistent over 38 games.
United were the deserved winners. I'm not saying they weren't deserved winners, but I don't see that Ferguson could get any more out of that team or that squad. He has picked the perfect time to go.
I think United are there to be taken on next season. And it's just whether the Man City or Chelsea have got enough to do it. You look at Chelsea, it's apparent that Jose Mourinho will be back in charge, and he obviously had great success there the first time around.
Does it work though when managers go back? You know, he's so fondly remembered. He's on a bit of a hiding to nothing.
Yeah, I believe so too, and I also think the problem he's got is very much the foundations for his success the first time around were John Terry and Frank Lampard. And I think if he's the manager, I think he is, I think he's going to have to do something that is the predecessors have tried to do and failed, and that's kind of moved the old guard on.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at Man City now because obviously Roberto Mancini has moved on.
Which is good for City, let's be clear.
I think it's good for City as well, and I like Mancini the person.
I think Mancini chronically underachieved. You look at the resources that he's had, far more than any other manager, and for them to be 13 points behind United, it's like, well, they won the league last season, but this season has been rubbish. Didn't win anything, lost an FA Cup final they should have won, Champions League disaster, and league well adrift of United.
And I said to a City season ticket holder friend of mine 2 years ago, I said that Man City are one good manager away from winning everything.
Yeah.
And I think sort of the state of the top sides now has changed slightly. That might not be the case, but they do have a manager now if Pellegrini takes over, as we all expect him to do.
Yeah.
And I think there's a bit of work to do there with signings because I think the squad's been left very lopsided, but he's a good manager. He's worked wonders in very difficult circumstances with Malaga in the past couple of seasons and has won titles with Real Madrid. So I think City are there going to be challenging next season. I will back them to win it at this stage.
Of the big three, City would be the one that interests me to bet on. And you look elsewhere, Tottenham, I mean, can they kick on? Probably not. Arsenal, there's always interest in them, whether they can improve. I mean, Liverpool are the team of interest because I'm certain there'll be plenty more transfer activity there. It's been the same the last few seasons where it's sort of everyone's waiting for them to come good. You know, people that are big on performance data always pick out Liverpool as being undervalued by the bookmakers all the time.
So outside of the top three, you like your outsider bets. Who would you go for?
I think Liverpool actually. Yeah, 28. I think that that price could well contract come the start of the season. It's more in hope than expectation, I'd say. But at the price, certainly, I'd give them a go.
They're certainly going the right way now, Liverpool, after sort of a very up and down few seasons. But I just worry about Liverpool because also I don't think Luis Suarez will be a Liverpool player at the start of next season.
I'm not sure that's necessarily a bad thing, though. I mean, yes, he is a fantastic individual player, but I don't know. Did they suffer that much for not having him last few games of the season?
Maybe not in the last few games, but I think
over a whole season. We talked about winners. What about relegation?
Yeah, always a fascinating battle. In fact, far more contenders you'd think for the relegation battle. Obviously, 3 slots to fill. Relegation prices at the moment at Heaven Bet. Crystal Palace 1.55, Hull 1.65, Cardiff 2.4, Norwich 3.5, Stoke 4.5, Sunderland at 6. A whole host of teams at 9. You've got Fulham, Southampton, Aston Villa, Swansea, West Brom and West Ham. Newcastle, wouldn't rule them out at 13. And then Everton, 34. Can't see any of the other 6 sides possibly getting relegated.
No. I think this is a market where it's too close to call in the summer. I think certainly one you'd want to be getting involved at, possibly even as late as sort of the transfer window at the end of August, because I think there will be a lot of activity. You can kind of preempt what's going to happen with the big clubs, because also the signings they made are going to be more well known, and sort of there'll be much press about them.
Yeah.
But with these sides, you really need to keep an eye on sort of their activity. To be honest, if the season started tomorrow, as much as I'd hate to say it, I think Fulham could be in real trouble, because ended the season very badly.
Yeah.
The squad is old. There's no pace in there. There's no youth in there, and they're obviously going to be another year older. So,
And an overrated manager, I'd say.
Well, that's probably
Well, not overrated by you, to be
that's
fair.
probably a story for another day. But it seems like there will be activity this summer. There needs to be, because as I say, if the season started now, then Fulham would be in big trouble. And at 9,
I think Sunderland would be as well.
Well, Gareth?
Well, I mean, the fascinating bit about the relegation market is you look at it and you've got Palace, Hull and Cardiff, and they're taking up a massive percentage of the book. They're the 3 teams that have come up. When you actually look at how the teams that come up get on, only 4 in the last 5 seasons have gone straight back down again. So out of the 15 teams there, that's 11 that have stayed up out of the 15. You've got to go back to 1998 for the last time that all 3 that came up went back down again. So, I mean, it's not a massive sample there, but you'd suggest that the teams that have come up more recently are better equipped than the days when generally you were seeing 2 of them go back down again. So, I mean, if a couple of those teams stay up, and you'd think certainly Hull and Cardiff would be best equipped to stay up, then that's going to throw a couple of other spots open.
Yeah.
Certainly the team that interests me, and the one that I have backed already, Sunderland for the drop, finished 17th. Well documented that I think they were fortunate to finish 17th.
Yeah.
Certainly Di Canio coming in did give them a massive lift. But, still fundamentally that's a squad that's light on quality.
Yeah.
Certainly Fletcher up front is good, and if he bangs in the goals, then you'd imagine they'll be all right. But, anything happens to him, they're in bother. Di Canio has certainly fired a few rockets up there,
But
which
again,
has got a short-term reaction.
Season.
But, over the course of a season, if you're alienating all your players, how is that going to go down? Yes, they might have money spent, and if they bring in a load of top players, then the bet's going to be probably down before the season started. But I think that they won't be spending big money.
No.
I think other teams down there will, so I'm happy to take a chance. Certainly at 6,
I would, definitely.
for a team that finished 17th. What it does remind me of is the season before, the team that stayed up by the skin of their teeth and finished 17th and said, well, this won't happen again. Well, it didn't, because QPR ended up finishing bottom and were dreadful all season, and that could well be Sunderland next season.
Of course, the man who said that is back in charge in the Premier League with Stoke, and
Which
they
is
want to keep an eye on, because Tony Pulis, love him or hate him, and I hate him, has done quite a job in keeping Stoke at this level for so many years. They've had a lot of money to spend, and the style they've gone about things hasn't been attractive, but it's got them results that they've needed to stay up. Now, I imagine there's going to be a sort of an overhaul of the playing squad. There'll be an overhaul of style, and Mark Hughes hasn't really had that much recent success in the Premier League, so they could find themselves in trouble.
I'd actually place a bet on Stoke to go down. Out of the outsiders, that's who I would go for, Sunderland and Stoke.
Yeah, I mean, Stoke have been a popular selection. I think the appointment of Hughes hasn't been met well. I don't think people think that's a good appointment.
He knows how to spend money, but he doesn't seem to be getting any results at any club that he's been to.
Time will tell. Almost Stoke is probably the one job I'd think he might have half a chance at doing well at, really.
So moving on, Champions League, I don't think you can overlook Bayern Munich again.
Well, I think you'd be a fool to, really.
Favourites, they are at Heaven Bet. Bayern Munich 4.6, Barcelona 4.8, Real Madrid 6.2. Then the English teams, City and United, both at 11, Chelsea at 13. And then, bigger prices, Juventus, PSG.
Nothing could make me back an English team in the Champions League.
The thing is, if Bayern Munich get Lewandowski as well, I mean, there's no team out there that could challenge them.
Of course, they've got to fit these players in. I mean, it's going to be very difficult.
And they do have to play as a team.
Yeah, and I think if Guardiola is going to sort of take that, evolve this team on further, then it may take time to adjust. But, I think you'd be, as I say, foolish to kind of look to take on Bayern Munich. So, amongst the leading contenders, you may want to look further afield down the market. A team that interests me, because I thought they were very good this season in the Champions League, and they lacked a focal point as a striker, was Juventus. They're going to have that now, because Fernando Llorente is joining on a free transfer from Bilbao. And if they can sort of get a good run in the Champions League, I think they can go quite far.
Yeah, 19's a decent price. Dortmund at 21. you're taking a punt there that they keep hold of some of their players. But you know, the hunger, and if Klopp brings in a similar standard of players to what he's losing, or players with similar potential to what he's losing, you know, wouldn't put you off Dortmund. I mean, then you got a lot of other teams to consider. You know, Galatasaray, Turkish league, spending money. You got the big money out in Russia. Yeah, there's
PSG.
PSG.
Spend again.
It's a intriguing old battle.
Other bets that take your fancy early on the season? Well, the season's not even started yet.
If we're going to talk about French teams spending money, then we've really got to look at what's happening at Monaco at the moment, because I mean, it's astonishing the sort of the money that's been thrown around. João Moutinho has come in, as has Rodriguez from Porto, and obviously now Falcao looks to be following suit. It certainly seems like they're going to give it a real go if they can get past all the red tape in terms of tax and what the French league.
I'm sure they can.
Oh, exactly, we'll allow them to do. What they won't have in terms of Ligue 1 is that they won't have any European commitment. So if PSG find themselves caught up in a Champions League campaign, and maybe Monaco will be there to pounce. Yeah,
they're priced at 4.5. It looks a two-horse race on paper. I'd be glad to have a bit of competition for PSG, because that French league was just winded me up all season. Where you think,
both in the division and the transfer
market.
I
mean, Marseille and Lyon just didn't. No one seemed to want to actually go and try and win it. So yeah, I'll be very interested to see how Monaco get on. Looking in England, won't be surprised to. I'll certainly be looking to side with Southampton on some season-long bets. Top 10, I think they're booked in for, really. Looking for any sort of odds against quotes there. I think they'll go very well this season.
It's just another side who catch my eye, and a side very close to my heart, and it's Fiorentina. I want to keep an eye on the Serie A this season, because Vincenzo Montella has done a great job there. He did a great job at Catania, went to Fiorentina last season, was fantastic. They were so close to pinching Champions League football on the last day. But they've got Giuseppe Rossi is now back in training. He's out an awful couple of years with injuries. If he can get anywhere close to sort of recapturing that form he had at Villarreal, then Fiorentina just may surprise quite a few people in Italy. The only thing that worries me there is, A, can they keep hold of Montella, because there's certainly a lot of big clubs looking at him, and B, it's how will they cope with Europa League alongside Serie A. But they're a side I love to watch. Yeah,
that is one of the sort of lessons we've been preaching, I suppose, about the teams in the Europa League and the effect it has on league form. So yeah, something to bear in mind. But yeah, I do like Fiorentina. How do you see the Spanish league?
Two-horse race.
Well, yeah.
I think again more upheaval. Madrid, another new manager,
and Barcelona have shown their weakness. A lot of people have said in the past, when Messi's on fire, then they play well, and they've really shown that when he isn't fit, when he can't play, it goes to pot.
Well, I still think they're an exceptional side. Maybe they didn't really do themselves justice in the Champions League, but if they win their final game of this season, they're going to match the record points total that Real Madrid set last year, and Jose Mourinho said will never be matched. So it's still been a fantastic season for them. And I remember they've had to cope with a lot of off-the-field matters as well, with Tita Villanova's health and Eric Abdel's health. If they get a clean run with either Villanova in charge or someone else next season, I think they're very hard to stop domestically. OK, it's prize draw time, and I have to say a massive thank you to my dad, Andy Holden, and to Moisey. I didn't know he was going to Manchester United, but he did give me some fabulous prizes from Everton to give away as part of our prize draw. OK, in terms of first prize, David Moyes' coat, that went to Alan Roberts. We had 2 signed Everton footballs. Asa Martin and John Sylvester won those. Signed Premier League goodies, that went to Edward Rogers, and €100 free bet, that went to Al Kabilk. And we've got 5 €20 free bets, which those winners you can see on the screen right now. So massive thank you to Sam and Gareth, who have been with me all season. Been a pleasure. Plans for the summer? More or less. Bit of cricket. More football, Ashes, Lions Tour. Confederations Cup. Of course, of course. Thank you for being with us this season. For you to place your bets, remember it's heavenbet.com, and we'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.